चरण सरोज रज निज मन मुकुर सुधारी। बरनौ रघुबर बिमल जसु जो दायक फल चारि। बुद्धिहीन तनु जानिके सुमिरो पवन कुमार। बल बुद्धि विद्या देहु मोहि हरहु कलेश बेकार। जय हनुमान ज्ञान गुण सागर जय कपीस तिहु लोक उजागर। रामदूत अतुलित बल धामा अंजनी पुत्र पवन सुत नामा। महावीर विक्रम बजरंगी कुमति निवार सुमति के संगी। कंचन बरन बिराज सुबेसा कानन कुंडल कुंचित केशा। हाथ वज्र और ध्वजा बिराजे कांधे मूंज जनेहु साजे। शंकर सुवन केसरी नंदन तेज प्रताप महाजगबंदन। विद्यावान गुणी अति चातुर राम काज करिबे को आतुर। प्रभु चरित्र सुनिबे को रसिया राम लखन सीता मन बसिया। सूक्ष्म रूप धरि सियहि दिखावा बिकट रूप धरि लंक जरावा। भीम रूप धरि असुर संहारे रामचंद्र के काज सवारे। लाए सजीवन लखन जियाए श्री रघुबीर हरषि उर लाए। रघुपति कीन्ही बहुत बड़ाई तुम मम प्रिय भरत ही सम भाई। सहस बदन तुम रोजस गावे अस कहीं श्रीपति कंठ लगावे। सनकादिक ब्रह्मादि मुनीसा नारद सारद सहित अहिसा। जम कुबेर दिगपाल जहाते कभी कौबिद कहीं सके कहते। तुम उपकार सुग्रीव ही कीन्हा राम मिलाय राजपत दीन्हा। तुम्हरो मंत्र विभीषण माना लंकेश्वर भय सब जग जाना। जुग सहस्त्र जो जन पर भानु लील्यो ताहि मधुर फल जानु। प्रभु मुद्रिका मैली मुख माहि जलधि लांघि गए अचरज नाहि। दुर्गम काज जगत के जेते सुगम अनुग्रह तुम्हरे तेते। राम दुआरे तुम रखवारे होत न आज्ञा बिनु पैसारे। सब सुख लहे तुम्हारी शरणा तुम रक्षक काहू को डरना। आपन तेज समारो आपे तीनों लोक हाकते कापे। भूत पिशाच निकट नहीं आवे महावीर जब नाम सुनावे। नासे रोग हरे सब पीरा जपत निरंतर हनुमत बीरा। संकट ते हनुमान छुड़ावे मन क्रम वचन ध्यान जो लावे। सब पर राम तपस्वी राजा तिनके काज सकल तुम साजा। और मनोरथ जो कोई लावे सोई अमित जीवन फल पावे। चारों जुग पर ताप तुम्हारा है प्रसिद्ध जगत उजियारा। साधु सत्य के तुम रखवारे असुर निकंदन राम दुलारे। अष्ट सिद्धि नौ निधि के दाता असबर दीन जानकी माता। राम रसायन तुम्हरे पासा सदा रहो रघुपति के दासा। तुम्हरे भजन राम को पावे जन्म जन्म के दुख बिसरावे। अंत काल रघुबरपुर जाई जहाँ जन्म हरि भक्त कहाई। और देवता चित्त धरहि, हनुमत सेहि सर्व सुख करहि, संकट कटे मिटे सब पीरा, जो सुमिरे हनुमत बलबीरा। जय 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 हनुमान गुसाई, कृपा करहु गुरुदेव की नाई। जो सत बार पाठ कर कोई, छूटहि बंधि महासुख होई। जो यह पढ़े हनुमान चालीसा, होए सिद्ध साकी गौरीसा। तुलसीदास सदा हरि चेरा, कीजय नाथ हृदय बहडेरा। पवन तने संकट हरन, मंगल मूर्ति रूप। राम लखन सीता सहित, हृदय बसो सुरभूप। सियावर रामचंद्र की जय, पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय, बोलो रे भाई सब संतन की जय। जय श्री राम, जय श्री कृष्ण, जय हनुमान। Initially, why do we start with Hanuman Chalisa is very simple. To get our mind to where it is needed. Right? We keep running, we keep doing so many things. And to get into that mindset. And what kind of a mindset are we getting into again? The initial verses are very simple. Shri Guru Charana Saroj Raj, Nich Manu Mukar Sudhari. We cleanse our heart. Right? The mirror of our heart with the dust of the Lord's feet, right? And with that, we ask Him, because we are taking the Lord's name, we are asking Him to give us the ability to understand it. And what is needed to understand the Lord's name and to follow the Lord's part? We are telling Him that we are buddhihin, we don't know anything, and we have embarked on this journey. So, please give us bal, buddhi, vidya. All these three things so that we can understand what is being said. In fact, Hanuman Chalisa is so beautiful because Hanumanji is one of the Param Bhaks. And in fact, he is considered one of the gopis also. His devotion to the Lord is so divine that he is no different from the gopis of Vrindavan. And why do we say ki, your name is important? He is Bhakti ke avatar. And last session we did this only, right? The importance of surrender and devotion to the Lord. In the midst of any situation, once we are able to surrender, our problem is solved. It's over. He takes over. But surrender does not happen, right? Full surrender is very difficult. Maybe because of our conditioning, maybe because of our lack in faith. It is not easy, but it is possible. It takes time. Even the journey towards surrender, if that has started, that is enough, actually. Uske alawa kuch hame chahiye bhi nahi. So, and when does this journey start? When there is acceptance that there is something more to our existence, right? The minute Putna came and ignorance was destroyed, we say, right, ignorance is bliss, because when we are in bliss, without knowing that there is more to our life, we can eat, drink and be merry, right? There is nothing to stop us. Jindagi hai, masti karo, mauj karo. God has given everything for me. I have been given everything for my enjoyment. So what is the harm if I'm enjoying myself because I have earned it, right? That is a simple theory. Eat, drink, be merry. But when the dawn happens of knowledge and we realize that this life is not to eat, drink and be merry only. There is more to my very existence. That is when the fight starts. Before that, there is no struggle. There is struggle, but there is no reach for the divine. And then, of course, then we saw one by one, a lot of demons are being taken care of. When the Lord awakens in our heart, we start seeing the muck in ourselves. Till the Lord awakens in our heart, we see the muck in other people and the world. Right? Everybody is bad. Everybody is unjust. Everybody has been mean to me. The world is so chaotic. The world is so harsh. Right? And when the awakening happens, the drishti from outside turns within. When Sri Krishna is born in our heart, the drishti from outside turns within. And then what happens? We see the muck in our heart. We get so busy seeing the dirt in ourselves and cleansing it that we have no time to see the dirt in anybody else. Because we realize that the world is nothing but a reflection of myself. What I see in the world is what I am. कहते हैं ना, बुरा देखन मैं चला, बुरा ना दिखया कोई, जब मन झाका आप ना, मुझसे बुरा ना कोई. I went around to find somebody who is bad, but I could not find anybody, because when I looked into my own heart, I realized there is nobody who is more vile than I am. And this realization comes after a lot of tapas. And this very realization is needed for us to elevate. Unless and until we think there is something wrong in us, we won't want to correct it, right? Many a times we don't even have the knowledge of what filth we have within us. So the journey began beautifully, one demon after another. We have seen the word of so many demons. Finally, in the last session, we saw the power of fire, right? We took it from two angles. We saw it that if we are surrounded by fire, right, Lord will come and rescue us. The other way to look at it would be very simple, that even when we are in this journey, be it any journey, be it a spiritual journey or be it our material journey, any journey will come with obstacles, right? No matter where we have reached, there are tapasvis who have almost got liberated and then they fall. Why? That last minute of lack of vigilance. A little bit of ego creeps in. Because see, when you have ego within you, you become heavy, you cannot fly. So this is the fire which can destroy. So it is clearly saying, although all your demons must have been killed, you must have been established in the Lord also. However, the sadhana cannot stop. We cannot say, okay, the work is done and we sit down. Very simply, once an athlete has reached his Olympic gold medal, right? Should he stop? Will he say, okay, I've reached my goal, I will stop? No. Because in the next race, then he will fail because his body won't be fit enough. So in the same way, even if we feel we are very close to being divine, we feel that we are divine, we have realized, we are pure, that means that we stop putting in the effort? No. The effort has to go on. As long as there is breath, that long the effort has to go on. And then we take the next sharir, the effort has to go on. That is why we'll see many of the sages who we considered are realized still are doing Hari Katha, Hari Kirtan. They don't stop because they know one stop, one break, and the fall will happen. So many a times the question might be asked, when will this journey end? It is a never-ending journey. Don't wait for the end. Enjoy the journey so much that you do not want the journey to stop. The day it stops, demise is written. Many, many great sages have fallen like that because they felt they have reached. So this fire is also there because once you become complacent, right? Many a times you become complacent. Ki, okay, ab to samajh aa gaya hai na. Now I am there. That is when the fire is going to hit you and you will be engulfed. The only person who would not be engulfed by the fire is the person who is constant in his sadhana. That is when the doubts will come. The more you walk on the path, the more the doubts will come. The more the hurdles will come. The more the questions will be asked. The more dilemmas you'll face. So at that time, the fire of uncertainty can only be extinguished through Harinam. It's very simple. So when do we stop taking Harinam? When do we stop doing the sadhana? When do we stop this journey? This journey is never ending. And the person who stops, the person who gets distracted, falls. And in the middle, we did a beautiful story. We touched and went last class about Pralambasur, right? Pralambasur the fire demon. We are going to revisit Dasam Skand. We are in Dasam Skand, right? It is Nirodh Leela. What is Nirodh Leela? Nirodh Leela is the Leela which is going to help us detach from the world and attach to the world, attach to the Lord. Detaching to the world does not mean that we leave our families and everything and run away into a jungle. No. Detachment happens where you are while whatever you are doing. Attachment to the Lord, detachment to the world. Detachment does not mean that you stop doing or caring for the people you are with. You continue loving them. You just become detached. The expectations go down, the hurt reduces, and you're more loving. So attachment and love are not equal to each other. We have clearly said attachment is different and love is different. They cannot be said together. You can love somebody without being attached to that person. So the love to the world will continue and grow, but the attachment from the world is going to be reduced and it is going to be diverted towards the Lord. That is what this Dasam Skand is all about. It is called Nirodh Leela of Shri Krishna. And now in this part, now we have reached a part where a lot of fire is being talked about, right? We said it can be Gyan Agni, it can be our being distracted, it can be tests and hurdles. But what is this Pralambasur? Pralambasur was a fire demon. And the beautiful story we'll listen to again is that Pralambasur came to destroy Sri Krishna. He disguised as a cowherd boy, Gwal Bal. Now, what are Gwal Bals? Gokul, Gwal, all these are nothing but our indriyas, our senses. So he disguised himself as a Gwal Bal, right? And he came. He wanted to attack Sri Krishna, but he felt that it is not possible. He started playing games with them, right? He mingled into the Gwal Bal herd. Balramji is also there. Sri Krishna is also there. And they started playing games, simple games. Little children, the way they play, they have gone to Yamuna Tat. That was their normal routine. Beautiful life they had. They would go there, they would carry a lot of food, they'll play a lot of games. The cows would graze, and eventually in the evening, after eating and enjoying, they would come back home. So at this time, Pralambasur is there, and he has disguised himself, and the games have started. So now his intention is to attack Sri Krishna, right? However, during the games, he realized that he cannot reach Sri Krishna. So when he said he cannot reach Sri Krishna, what did he decide? He said, it's okay, I'll destroy Balaramji. Right? I can't reach Sri Krishna, it's okay, I will destroy Balramji. So Sri Krishna understood what is happening. So Krishna said, it's okay, now let's play another game where one person has to carry the other person and then the wrestling is going to happen. So he knew that he could not carry Sri Krishna. Sri Krishna is too heavy. Then what he did was, he said, okay, Balramji, and they were playing, and one got defeated, one won, and all the rules of the game were followed. And then came the turn. So he, Pralambasur, in the guise of a Gwal Bal, made Balramji sit on him. Okay, Balramji is on him, and there is another boy with Krishna on him. Or Krishna is carrying another boy. The wrestling started. And after that, they were supposed to run. Now Pralambasur has whom? Balramji on him. We'll stop here for 1 minute, because in the last few sessions we have clearly identified two things, Atma Bal and Atma Gyan, right? What did we say? Balramji is Atma Bal, my strength, right? And who is Sri Krishna? Atma Gyan or Tattva Gyan, that truth. Pralambasur said, I cannot destroy the truth. Right? He said that is not possible. He could not. It was too heavy for him to carry. So what did he attack? He attacked Atma Bal. He said, I will destroy Balramji. Finish him off. Eventually Krishna would be destroyed. Right? Beautifully. So what he did was, he carried Balramji on him and he started running. Now Balramji is not ordinary. Who is Balramji? Balramji is the avatar of, we say, right? He is Sheshnag, who has taken the form of Balramji. And many a times we hear that Vishnuji has taken a form of Sri Krishna. Now again, I'll give a pause over here, because we need to think and we need to understand these avatars very beautifully, simply put, they have said. It's very good for children. when we are explaining it to children, okay, Sheshnag ke avatar the Balram ji, Vishnu ji ke avatar the Krishna ji. But we as adults, we have to understand that these are not linear relationships. Now the question might arise, okay, which Vishnu's avatar was Shri Krishna? How many Vishnus do we have? We have done it, right? When we were doing Sarga and all that, the creation, there's Vishnu in the causal ocean, cosmic Vishnu. Then there is Vishnu within the universe, right? It is a Garbhodakshayi Vishnu, which is at the bottom of the universe. Then there is Vishnu in everybody's heart. So which Vishnu's avatar is Shri Krishna? Question mark. Right? Because many a times in our scriptures, they will suddenly say, especially I'll bring this to your notice, when Ramayana is being narrated, suddenly they say that when the Sena was marching from the tip of India to Sri Lanka, they had created a bridge, right? At that time, Lanka ja rahe the. So when Sri Ram and his Sena got on the bridge, it is said that this snake, Sheshnag, and Kurma avatar, and Sheshnag was, literally, right, it was so heavy for him to carry the burden of this marching army that he started, when there is so much of pain and so much of stress, you tend to bite something, right? So while he was in so much of pain and stress, he started biting the shell of Kurma, right? He started biting and he started inscribing on it in a way that divine is walking on, and how can I handle that weight? So over here there is a slight indication, kiska avatar kaun? We do not have to get into this, right? But we have to remember that there is nothing linear. So whose avatar is whom? Now, Brahm, that one divine, there is no other than him, right? The one, we all believe that there is one who has created the entire world, right? Everything comes from him only. Kaun kiska avatar? There is only one and everything is created by him. So there is nothing linear. So for children, yes, it is very beautiful to understand, but we have to keep a very, very open mind, because then what happens is discussion starts on what? Who is bigger? ये बड़ा वो बड़ा, ये कम वो कम, कोई बड़ा छोटा है ही नहीं, because there is only one. Everybody has come from that one and everybody is going to go to that one. It is beautiful to explain that this was this and his avatar is this. But when you go into the depth of your scriptures, you realize that there is one and everybody has come from that one. So now, he said that it is very difficult to destroy this Brahm. So what I will do is, I will destroy Balramji. So again, very beautifully, he held Balramji and he started running. He wanted to take him to a corner and then fight him and destroy him, take his Virat Swarup as a fire demon and destroy him. So Balramji also was no less. Balramji also had that Ashtasiddhi. Now Ashtasiddhis, Navnidhis, are these mythical? No, they are not. Every one of us has the capability to get those Ashtasiddhis and Navnidhis. Unfortunately, what we are doing is we are running towards the material wealth, right? We are not going towards the divine. In the journey to this divine, everything is given to us in a platter. But the problem is, if you take these siddhis, you don't reach the divine. You get diverted from the path. And if you do not take these siddhis, of course, you can have whatever you want. By one drishti of yours, mountains and mountains could turn into gold. Problem is, we do not believe it. So what we do is, instead of running towards the divine, we run towards the material world. Instead of going towards the Mayapati, we run towards his Dasi, the Maya. And we spend our entire life toiling for some pieces of glass when we can follow a different path and, if so desire, get diamonds and rubies. Kahan glass hai aur kahan heere jawharat hai. But again, most of the sages don't stop there. Many move on, but there are many who stop there. We can see, right? People with siddhis, there are people with a lot of tantric vidyas. All this is achieved on that path only. But you have to go beyond that path. When we are talking about Dhenukasur, if we go deeper into Adhyatma, we'll realize that what is Dhenukasur? If you are journeying towards the divine, a lot of fruits are there, right? This beautiful fruit is there. You can't reach that. That divine bliss cannot be reached if you get stuck in the siddhis. From the material point of view, of course, we should not hoard and, we are very vile. But from an adhyatmic point of view, for a spiritual seeker who is doing tapasya, when he is, for instance, Buddha, if you listen to the story of Buddha, when he was doing his tapas, before reaching the state of nirvana, before reaching the ultimate state, he was distracted by a lot of things, right? There are 4 or 5 things that came to him. There was women, there was wealth, so many things for him to stop his journey at that point. But he did not get distracted. There's a beautiful story about Buddha's journey. So at that point, when he was just one step below realizing the self, everything in this world was offered to him in his tapas. But he had to resist everything and keep going. Most of the people stop here. And they feel, the Lord has been realized. No, the Lord has been realized when you are able to give that temptation also of these Ashtasiddhis and Navnidhis. So basically, is it achievable? Yes, it is achievable. On which path it is achievable? Not on the material path, on that divine path. All the riches can be thrown to you in the divine path also. It is your choice. If you want to choose them over God, also is possible. So this divine path does not deprive anybody of riches. So Pralambasur also, but you have to give away those siddhis, riddhis, all the temptations to reach that divine and taste that nectar of divinity. So when you talk about Dhenukasur, the deeper meaning is this. When a sadhak is on the journey and he wants to reach above, this temptation of riddhis, siddhis, navnidhis, ashtadhis also have to be destroyed. You have to negate that. While he is doing his tapas, everything will be offered to him. He is going to say, no, I will move on. And then when you see this, when you see Kalya Nag, I'm just going a little deeper. Kalya Nag can be associated with the Kundalini, right? Take it. Our scriptures are very deep. We can take it as deep as we want to. Kundalini, we have all heard of Kundalini, the coil in the shape of a snake, right? All these chakras that we have, right? It is the opening of the chakras. And when last chakra is above our body, right? At that time, when Shri Krishna is destroying, that Kundalini is opening. When all the Indriyas are being controlled, puri Kundalini jab jagrat hoti hai and you reach this stage, you have achieved. So this entire narration can be taken from that point of view also. It's very deep. For a Kriya or a Sadhak or a Hat Yogi, it is a journey of a spiritual Sadhak to that divine. Our scriptures are meant for sadhaks mostly. So again, the snake is a symbol of our Kundalini. All the chakras, one by one, Shri Krishna is helping you open all your chakras till you reach him. And you're free. And he's there. Beautifully they have put it. And even when you are there, right, then the fires don't stop. For a person who has realized also, the journey does not end there. Because you have to keep walking on the path. Otherwise, these tests, different tests, different temptations will keep coming. And this is the fire that we are talking about. Now we are going back to Pralambasur. So he decided to carry Balramji and he ran, but Balramji also had those Ashtasiddhis. So with those Ashtasiddhis, what did he do? He expanded his weight, right? One of the 8 siddhis, hai na? So he became heavier and heavier and heavier. He became so heavy that Pralambasur could not run with him. He did not realize what had happened. He thought Krishna was difficult to attack, but then now Balramji has become heavy. So he put Balramji down because he could not take a step further. And it is said that there was a massive battle between them. And Pralambasur was not an easy demon to defeat. He took his form and literally Balramji almost lost. He was knocked down unconscious. The battle was so gruesome that it was almost the destruction in the end of Balramji had come. Shri Krishna is not in sight because the demon ran away from Shri Krishna. Right? See, the journey, whenever any calamity happens, whenever any demon comes, you see in each and every story, when you turn away from the Lord, just for a single second only, that is when the demon approaches. Dekh lena, the minute Aghasur, the children, Krishna had turned away, they turned away from Krishna, they moved towards Aghasur. Right? Wherever Shri Krishna is forgotten, the demon attacks. So over here, the demon ran away. He took Balramji away from Shri Krishna. They had a battle. He almost defeated Balramji. Balramji is lying on the floor. Literally, just imagine. And he's thinking. And then suddenly, he reminds himself of what he is. Who he is. You can think about it that he is avatar of, Sheshnag only. Or he reminds himself that I am not this. What am I doing? How can I be defeated? Me, who am I? He talks to himself. He gains all the power again, not his power, not his conditioning. He breaks the conditioning of his body. He gets all the power that he is. And then he gets up again and fights with that new knowledge of the self which he had almost forgotten. It can happen to us also. We oscillate, right? Sometimes we are stit in that situation. Sometimes we are not. So he had totally forgotten. So he regains that knowledge and he fights and he totally destroys Pralambasur. And Pralambasur is gone. Destroyed by Balramji. Now, बहुत सुंदर है. But what are they trying to tell us? Last class we did from 17, 18, 19. 3 chapters we did. Now we are going back to the 18th chapter and we are going to complete this in depth because now what is Balramji is very important for all of us, especially in any path. Be it if you are in a path on a material world or if you are on a spiritual path. This story is important because it is not only about surrender. It is about our Purusharth. What is Purusharth? The effort that we are supposed to put in. Yes, surrender is good. But that means after we surrender, we become inert and sit down. Have we ever seen a yogi, jnani or a tapasvi who is inert? No. They are more dynamic than any other person you can think about because no hurdles stop them. Now what happened to Balramji was he for a moment forgot who he is, how he is associated to Shri Krishna. And at that time, his Purusharth started being subdued by Pralambasur. What is Purusharth? What kind of a Purusharth? All the efforts that are needed on the path. He was not destroying Shri Krishna. He said, if I destroy his sadhana, if I destroy the effort that this person is putting in, eventually Shri Krishna would go away from him. So surrender, we talked about surrender and his grace. His grace is always flowing. But what Pralambasur does is makes us stand with an umbrella when it is raining. Just imagine, there is grace flowing all the time, right? There is a shower of grace happening all the time. But if we decide to stand with the umbrella, will we get wet? We won't get wet. But we can't complain that, the shower of grace is not there. So this Pralambasur is trying to put back our umbrella here. And he's killing the Purusharth only. That effort that we are putting to remove the umbrella. Suppose the sun is shining outside and I put thick curtains and the sunlight cannot come in. Should I say that the sun is not grateful and sun is not there? No. I have put the curtains, hence the sunlight is not entering. So Pralambasur is trying to put the curtains again. That last effort to put all the curtains back, and it happens to everybody. Jitna you fight, of course, Maya is going to fight back. She is not going to stay put, right? She'll entice in every possible way. And that is what happens to us, We get enticed and we get carried away. And slowly Shri Krishna drifts away. And this is Pralambasur. He is the most dangerous demon because what he is trying to kill is not the grace. He is trying to kill the effort that we are putting in. He is trying to destroy Atma Bal. And without Atma Bal, what will happen? Everything will be finished. There is a saying, it is very beautiful and it is true also that God does not choose the it is said that God does not choose the knower. He enlightens the chosen. The words are getting a bit mixed up. So that is all there. But once somebody is chosen, he has to keep walking on that journey, right? If we stop our Purusharth and we just sit down, that we have food in front of us, and we just sit down, there was this sage, he said, no, if God is there, he is going to feed me. So he sat down. So God was like, he's starving, he's a tapasvi, I have to send food for him. So he would not. He said, no, if God is there, he'll come and feed me. Now God, somebody, a little child came running with a lot of food. He said, Baba, khana kha lo. He said, nahi, I don't want food from you. I will eat only when God comes and feeds me. So, theek hai, this child went away. And another person came. Baba, khana kha lo. See, I have got so much for you. No, I won't eat anything. Only God is going to come and feed me. They left the plate and went. Every day the Lord is trying to send somebody or the other to feed this Baba who is on a hut that I won't eat. Only God is going to come and feed me. Finally, what happened? He passed away. He did not eat. He passed away. He went and he met the Lord. He said, oh, so you are there. Then why didn't you come and feed me? He said, I have been trying every single day. There was so much of food in front of you. Why didn't you eat? I've been sending one person after another to feed you. You did not. All you had to do was reach out to the food and put it into your mouth. Utta to purusharth karoge na. Wo bhi aapne nahi kara. So what can I do? I was there only. I was helping you. I was feeding you. But you did not. All you had to do was take your hand forward and put that into your mouth. This much also you did not do. And this is the story of our lives also. And this is called Atma Bal. Unless and until we put in the Purusharth, kuch bhi nahi hoga. Knowing is one thing. Putting in an effort to reach is another thing. So it is said, right? Sadhana, eventually will say kuch karne ki zarurat nahi hai, right? Nothing is needed. Now, people say sadhana gadha hai. But you have to do that sadhana. You have to put in that effort to realize that nothing has to be done. I am. How will you realize? By putting in the effort. It is like a catch-22 kind of a situation where you have to act to realize that nothing has to be done. You have to do to understand that nothing has to be done. But without doing, you would not understand that nothing has to be done. कहने को बहुत आराम है कि कुछ नहीं करना, कहीं नहीं जाना. मैंने आपको कह दिया, आपने मान लिया. But when will you experience it? It is all about our personal experience, isn't it? Unless and until we put in that effort to realize what is being said, it is of no use for us. So Pralambasur is coming and trying to destroy this very demon called Atma Bal. He says, I'm going to take away all the effort that they are putting in. Gradually, Krishna will be finished. And Balramji, he almost failed. He almost got carried away. He almost forgot his own power. And then he sat down and he reminded himself, कि no, I operate with the power of that divine. People say I'm Sheshnag ka avatar. How can I get defeated by this Pralambasur? And then he got up and he fought. Pralambasur is very difficult to destroy because of one more thing. What we know, we can fight. What we do not know, how do we fight? Do we know about our previous life's journey? We all believe in Punarjanm and we all believe, right? Because that is the premise of Sanatan Dharma. That we have had many births before and we'll have many births ahead. We go around in different yonis, right? Manushya yoni is very difficult to get. It's very difficult to reach the Manushya yoni, and to get the Manushya yoni again is also very difficult. It's rare, very rare. So I was telling my daughter, I said, see, first we are born in Bharat. No, first Sanatan Dharma jante hain hum. Bharati hain and Manushya Sharir mil gaya hai. We have three things in our favor that can help us cross the ocean of mundane existence. Ab nahi to kab karenge? Bharat akhanda khand hai. It is said it is a avinashi khand. It can never be destroyed. Sanatan Dharma आदि अनादि काल से चल रहा है. उस धर्म में है हम. And the third thing is मनुष्य जीवन मिला है. What is the difference between a मनुष्य and a जानवर? विवेक. There is no other difference. We have the ability to discriminate. Animals don't have the ability to discriminate. We have the ability to actually move towards breaking free from the mundane existence. Animals don't. This is not a bhog yoni, right? We said this is a yog yoni. Be it the devas who sit in heaven, be it Indra or anybody, Brahmaji, everybody, be it the animals, be it the people in the lower yonis, जानवर जो भी ले लो, they have no ability to break the cycle of mundane existence. Only in this human birth, because of our discriminating ability, we are able to break the cycle of birth and death. Because we don't live off our prarabdha. What is prarabdha? Again, this is all Pralambasur that we are describing. Prarabdha is whatever I have done in my previous birth, whatever I have sown, the benefit, whatever the good or the bad, the benefit or the loss which I'm going to reap today is based on what I have done in my previous births or the previous days, right? That is my prarabdha. Nobody can change your prarabdha. कितना ही आप कर लो, मतलब nowadays they claim कि we'll change your future. कोई नहीं बदल सकता आपका future. You can go to 1001 astrologers, you can go to 1001 people. Prarabdha ka, whatever you have done, you have to face it. The only thing that can happen by Hari Kirtan is you do not feel the pain or the agony. You go through a situation swiftly, but you won't face the pain and agony. But that situation cannot be changed for you. So, पुराने जन्म से प्रारब्ध है. So how are these prarabdhs created? Why is Pralambasur so dangerous? Because Pralambasur is not only the prarabdh, he is also a representative of our sanskars and vasanas. What are sanskars? What are vasanas? We gather them, right? कहते हैं ना, when we are talking also, it must be his purva janam ka sanskar, right? If a child is good, purva janam ka sanskar leke aaya hai, right? So from the previous journey, we gather a lot of sanskars and vasanas. Now, what are sanskars and vasanas? And how do they come with us? Because we leave our body, right? Nothing comes with us. Some energy is traveling. We are that. It is traveling. How do we carry those vasanas and sanskars with us? We don't have any bag or baggages, right? कहते हैं ना, खाली हाथ आए, खाली हाथ जाएंगे. No. See, this is the gross body. I should have put it in the screen. I'll share it. See, I don't know whether you can, it won't be visible. I'll explain it to you. This is the gross body, and then it has a cover of a subtle body. ठीक है, उसके ऊपर सबसे सूक्ष्म शरीर है, उसको कहते हैं causal body, right? And all these are layers that are around the self. It has many layers, we can describe it as the food sheet, then the Annamaya Kosh, Pranamaya Kosh, Jnanamaya Kosh, Vijnanamaya Kosh and Anandamaya Kosh. So these are simply layers that are put around us. Okay? Because I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am not the thought, I am nothing, right? I am that, right? Or मान लो, for the people who want to believe in Dvaitvan, it is also absolutely okay. He is Paramatma, I am Atma. For Advaitis, he is me and I am him. I am that, Tattvamasi. Koi problem nahi hai. Or you can also say that I am his Ansh. Basically, this is this pure self which is going to travel. So it does not carry anything with him. So how is it that the sanskars and vasanas go along? Because in the subtle level, whatever we have experienced, right? All the experiences, all the actions, all the karma bandh, they travel with us. The body is left, but this subtle layer, maybe one layer, maybe two layer, it is going with us, right? And then it is like changing one dress to another. That entire thing is fitted in the other body. It's very beautifully, it's like, you can imagine where there is a thing traveling and then entire sukshma, all that, fine things, they go and then it is embedded in your next body. Prarabdha karma and all your vasanas. What are vasanas now? Have you seen dust? Okay. There is dust on a car. and suppose, or mud, and then you just draw some lines in it, and then you pour water. What will happen? The water will not go here and there, right? The water is going to go towards those lines, and it's going to trickle down towards those lines only, right? Wherever, if there is dust, and this is the trickling of the water in those lines that you have drawn in the dust, right? We act impulsively because these lines have been formed by us. Have you seen a stone? If repeatedly it is hit by the ocean, the portion where he is hit, there will be a dent, isn't it? So all the actions that we do, all the thoughts that we have, everything that we have been doing is forming this imprint. And in this birth, sometimes we feel, why do I behave in this way? It is my sanskar. Another way, vasna. Vasna is again a way of saying it is a gandh. It is a smell. Very simply, if you take a jar of achar and you remove that achar later and you wash it, still the smell remains, right? If there is a strong achar, the smell remains, and it takes a very long time to get that vessel free of that smell. Exactly, those are vasanas. So we carry our sanskars, we carry our vasanas, and these lead to different things like our desires, all our trishnas, all the things that we do have a great impact of our previous birth sanskars and vasanas. And eradicating these is very difficult. We say, right? Habit, it remains. It remains. Ab isko kaise nikalo? So all through our koshas, something subtle travels with us, and these are our sanskars and vasanas. How do we defeat them? Balramji found it very difficult because this has been going with me for years and years, births and births and births and births and births. Now suddenly in this birth, how do I destroy it? Kaise karenge? And it is not possible, is it? No, it is. Whatever is our prarabdha, we have to face it, right? But we can make an effort, right? Whatever our sanskars and vasanas, we are born with it. We have it with us. We cannot change it right now. So this is the situation we have been given. Now how do we counter it? Prarabdha, we face it. What we can do is, don't create any new vasanas and sanskars. Whatever has been created is there, right? We can try and not create new ones. How do we try and not create new ones? That is where Atmabal is needed. That is where the effort comes in. That is what Pralambasur is saying, ki if I destroy that Atmabal only, they will never be able to reach that divine self. Because of the vasanas and the sanskars which are traveling with them. Now you'll say, how? How can that be done? Very simple. It can be done by doing things in our daily life. Very simply, when we are faced with an adverse situation, we can decide not to create any new vasana or sanskar by not getting agitated. Face it the way it is. No new desires. No new thoughts. It is very difficult, we'll say, right? Kaise kar sakte ye sab? It is never meant to be easy. We have, janmo ka kuda is with us. How do we wipe it out? But there are steps. Now, we had, if you remember, we had done one letter from Tapovanji in one of the sessions, right? He had told us about 3 things that we need to do. What are the duties? Okay. One of the sessions we had done. Sorry, it's if the household, now this is another letter which he has written, and it is very beautiful, especially for a person who is on the path, and when faced by our vasanas and sanskars, how should one go forward? And the letter starts very simply. He says, if a householder becomes a jnani, he should continue to perform all actions prescribed by the scriptures, whether with or without desire for their fruit. How can we incur no new sanskars? No new vasanas. I'm sorry, it's going to be a bit slow today, but it is important. It is saying that don't have any desire for the fruit of your action to start with. No desire for the fruit of the action. Over here, we are all grihasts. So if a grihast becomes a jnani or he wants to move towards the Lord, how should he live? First, we talked about 3 points, right? What should we eat? Last session we had done. I'll look at for the paper and I'll share that also. But right now he is going to a next step. He said, when you are acting, don't have any desire for the fruit. Nishkam karm. So you act in this world without any desire, no matter what you are doing. No expectations, no desire. The spiritual aspirant does his duty without desire for its fruit. Thereby he purifies his mind and becomes fit for spiritual thoughts and knowledge of the self. One's knowledge and dispassion might be perfect, right? Yet one need not necessarily renounce everything. See, our scriptures, our sages, we have to very clearly remember that they are clearly saying you do not have to renounce anything. Enlightenment, Gyan, the Lord, you can get right now where you are doing what you are doing. It is not the change in action, but the change in the attitude that is important. A Jnani will be doing the same thing that a non-Jnani is doing. What is the difference? We had done this, right? Again, very simple. Some basic stories, they just stick to you. The king and the yogi. When the yogi was enjoying all the luxuries and the king was enjoying all the luxuries, the king asked the yogi, what is the difference between me and you? He got up and he left and never came back. The king had to go back because the yogi was put in a situation with or without what was being offered to him, he was okay. But the king was not okay. Right? So over here, renunciation is not the point. Renunciation of what are we talking about? We are not renouncing our relatives. We are not renouncing our families. We are not renouncing our children. No. The attitude with which we are doing our actions are more important than the actions that we are doing. Right? So over here he says, here renunciation should be taken to mean the renunciation of actions prescribed to each ashram and not the renunciation of the enjoyment of senses. He goes a step further. He is saying, again, you have to renounce the enjoyment of the senses. Again, first, you are not renouncing the actions with the attitude with which we are performing and the sense of enjoyment, when you are enjoying everything, that has to be renounced. वो नहीं करना है. To say that dispassionate man compelled by the senses will enjoy sense object and that it is not necessary for him to reject is not only paradoxical but also ridiculous. Now, he is going a step forward for a sadhak. Many a times, first we said, very simply, to start with, don't stop doing anything that you're doing. A change in mindset has to happen. Then he says, gradually as you move on, you cannot say that I can have everything in the world, right? Yet not be attached to it. How would you know that you are attached to it or not till you denounce it? Right? Here he is talking about material possessions. Because many people on this path, they'll say, no, I have everything, I use everything, I'm not attached to it. Is it right? No. So gradually he is saying it is paradoxical. When you start walking on this path, automatically this material desire, the material things that you are gathering, everything will start dropping off. You will not hold on to it. And for a sadhak, it is essential that he puts a cap on his. How will you put a cap? By Atmabal. You'll say, no, this is not good for me. This is something I already have. This is something I do not need. Dheere dheere karke you want, but you would not go forward. You'll say, no. You're not going to your relationships right now. You're going to yourself and how you're going to control yourself. So he's saying objects of senses have to be denounced gradually. Object of senses could be anything. Having multiple cars, having multiple houses, having multiple clothes. These are all objects of senses, right? Having multiple possessions, jewelries, watches. He's saying aisa nahi hai ki you can say I have it but I'm not attached to it. Then leave it, no? Gradually start lightening your weight. So he's saying, no, that is not what I'm saying. He is not an ordinary sage. Tapovan Guru, he used to live there in a very small hut. I've gone to his hut, very small hut with nothing. In fact, one or two tattered, and he belonged to a very good family. If you read his history, he was from a very, very good family, and he denounced everything and he became a sadhu and a sannyasi. But now he's talking to grihasthas. He's not asking any of us to become a sadhu or a sannyasi. But he's saying, yes, you have to slowly drop objects of enjoyment. One by one, objects of enjoyment. Unrestrained enjoyment of senses is for utterly ignorant alone. Unrestrained enjoyment of senses is for utterly ignorant alone. First we say, okay, we have to change our attitude towards things. Once our attitude starts changing, we cannot keep holding on to sense objects. Gradually we have to drop them, because if we keep indulging our senses, they are going to grow very powerful. Kalya Nag was our senses also in a simple way, right? And Shri Krishna crushed each and everything. He took out all the poison. What are these poisonous things? All our indriyas have poison, isn't it? With our eyes, when we are desirous of things, when we go window shopping, oh, I wish I had that, I wish I had that. We are injecting poison through our eyes. Ears also, when we are listening to gossip, when we are thinking about, listening to negative things, we are injecting poison. So over here, by dropping objects of enjoyment one by one, we are reducing our poisonous nature. The true aspirant would have rejected it long time ago. If anybody is a true aspirant, slowly and slowly he would reduce his material indulgence. He would stop justifying his, sense enjoyments. Slowly he'll pull back. It would have ceased to interest him in the stage of nishkam karma. Dheere dheere, the sense objects would not interest him at all anymore. Think about it now. When God is in front of you, will you have any interest in these mundane material things anymore? Be it people or object. Be it futile discussions. When you can talk about the Lord, why would you waste your energy talking about something which is so perishable? When you can think about the Lord who's permanent, why would you invest unnecessarily on people who you know? Till you are in Dubai, they are with you. After you go away from Dubai, they are not there anymore. Time is precious. Sit back. If you really want to sit back and think, you have gone to a lot of cities, right? How many people from each city, how many people from each school, how many people from your college are you still in touch with? Not many. Everybody is a passing cloud. Every situation is also a passing cloud. So he's saying, it would have ceased to interest him even in the stage of nishkam karma. If so, how can it approach him now at the stage of dispassion and spiritual thought? So I repeat here again that the statement, even where there is dispassion, there is no renunciation, means only that the action enjoined in the scriptures are not renounced. That is it. That means whatever are your duties as per whichever ashram you are in, whichever place you are in, you don't give up on your duties. But that does not mean that you keep overindulging yourself and justifying it by saying it's okay. We say na कि नहीं, and then we suddenly come to the point, तो क्या बच्चों को छोड़ दे? बच्चों को छोड़ने का किसने बोला? Sense objects तो छोड़ ही सकते हैं ना. Then Vashisht, who was a jnani, full of dispassion, he's giving us an example. Vashisht Guru, all our gurus had families, they were married, they had children. None of our gurus, as far as I remember, be it Vashisht, be it Vishwamitra ji, all of them had families, they were grihasthas, because we have the concept of 4 ashrams. Brahmacharya ashram, grihastha ashram, vanaprastha ashram and sannyas ashram. So Guru Vashisht, who was a jnani full of dispassion, had renounced the enjoyment of senses, but had not given up the action prescribed by the scriptures. He had Arundhati Ma, as his helpmate, as his wife, to perform to the performance of action. He had taken the vow of non-possession, yet he maintained Arundhati and the children. So we can't say it's not possible. It is possible. All our sages, even Ram, Lakshman, everybody, all these great gurus and gods have had families. I hope from what I have written so far that my idea of dispassion and renunciation sought to be conveyed in my previous letter has become still clearer. Now he says, that long letter you have written, now he is saying that you are already on the path. This letter is to a person who's on the path. One may maintain his life on leaves of water or sleep on bare ground and lead a life of hard penance with absolutely no sense of enjoyment. All that is good. ठीक है, that is very good. अगर उस state पे कोई जाए, but then we do not prescribe कि you leave whatever you're doing and go to that state. There are certain people who are Bal Brahmacharis and their journey from previous life has taken them there. That's a different story. But what the scriptures advise is that a householder should not abandon his household duties. Renunciation of sense object is one thing. Renunciation of action is another thing. So he's not talking about renunciation of people. He's not talking about renunciation of our karma, actions. He's talking about renunciation of that attitude, renunciation of indulging in sense objects. For fear of scriptures, the ignorant man continues to perform his duties. The jnanis do so induced by tendencies inherited from the past. Now this is a little difficult because he says that a householder can be a jnani also. A householder can be a normal householder also. Now both do their duty. One do their duty out of fear. Then the other does his duty dispassionately because of the fact that, okay, this is where I have been placed. This is what I have to do. Finish. So there is no attachment towards his duty. But an ignorant man does all his duties with a lot of attachment towards everything. Duties are the same. Actions are the same. What is different between an ignorant man and a jnani? Is what is and how he is moving on the path. So he says, rise 25, 26. My papers are a bit mixed up today. 1 minute. 25, 26. I think this is 22. इसके बाद का paper I can't find, but it is 26. Rise above all thought that I am the body, accept sannyas, till then action does not leave you. Now he says the gist of the matter is this: the attachment of sense objects, ras jo aata hai in sense object, arises out of the ignorance of the blissful self. And this is what Pralambasur is trying to do. He is trying to indulge Balramji in the attachment or the rus of the sense objects. And he is trying to drive away the knowledge that I am not the body, I am not the mind, I am something beyond. And from that attachment comes desire. Once we forget our true nature and how we are part of this big cosmos and how we fit in it, what happens? Attachment comes in. When there is ignorance, there is attachment. When there is no ignorance, there is no attachment. Ignorance comes in, then attachment comes, and then comes the desires and sense enjoyment. And these create our sanskars and vasanas. This is how the vasana is created. So today, I cannot wash out the vasana from before, right? But I can make sure that I don't create any new ones. For that, a lot of vigilance is needed. That is why even Balramji got defeated. यहाँ पे बहुत strongly they have put Balramji in the battle being defeated because it is not easy. And then he says, if desires must be destroyed along with its root cause, that is attachment. What is the root cause of desires? It is attachment. Ignorance must be taken away first. By what? The knowledge of the truth. How do we fight? If desires must be destroyed along with the root cause, that is attachment. What is the root cause of desires? It is attachment. Very simple, because we'll all relate to it. My attachment towards my child. And my attachment towards my child is so strong that I desire to give him a very nice future. Uska education, uska ye. What is giving rise to my desire for his betterment? My attachment towards him. Right? What is my attachment? He is my child. He is my responsibility. He is not your child. He is not, of course, you have to do whatever you have been sent to do. Nobody is taking you away from it. But there is another person also who is responsible for him. That divine. He is your child. He has come through you. He is not yours. He has come through you, he is not yours. Why? Because he has his own sanskars, he has his own vasanas, he had his own prarabdha. Whatever he has done This situation, these people are conducive to his future upliftment. And whatever he has done in the past has given him birth in this household. If his past would have been even better, he could have been born to a king, right? He could have been born to Anil Ambani, Dhirubhai Ambani, somebody there, right? But because of his prarabdha, he's here. Or he could have been born to somebody poorer also. So he is with us today because of his own prarabdha. It's an individual journey. And he himself is carrying his sanskars and vasanas. Many a times parents say, right, मैंने गलत संस्कार दिया. आप संस्कार ठीक है. In this birth you can be a role model. But he has his own sanskars and vasanas which he is carrying from the previous birth. उसके संस्कार है, उसकी वासना है. You are not like the sole responsible person for everything. No. So yes, we have to do our duties, but at the same time, if our children are not on a particular path that we want, we should not be guilty also, because it's their individual journey. They have come with a baggage with them. So once this is understood, we as aspirants also become a bit at ease. And then after this he says, right, but it is the dispassion of those who have attained the goal. Aspirants also may attain dispassion. They protect their dispassion by finding evil in sense objects. Now he's saying, okay, I have talked about all this. How do you become dispassionate? What is dispassionate? Passion is when we are blind. Dispassionate is when we are able to discriminate. When we are able to discriminate, we start seeing evil in things. How do you see evil in things? They protect their dispassion by finding evil in sense objects. Their attachment and ignorance, its cause may not have been eliminated, but by the discovery of evil, they escape from the attachment and become dispassionate. The evil referred to here are the transitory and painful nature of the worldly objects. Attachment, the root cause, and ignorance survive and are not eradicated, but through steady discrimination in the form of the perception of evil, they allow no chance for desire to arise. How do you see evil in things? He's not saying that we should see things or people in the negative way, but in the bigger picture, he's saying painful nature of worldly existence would be, today I have it, tomorrow I won't have it. What is the pain that it's going to cause, right? And we can actually, from a distance, observe everything that is going around us. Most of the things don't give us an unending joy. There are always upheavals. So look at things discriminately and say, acha, is relation se kya hai? Is relation se kya hai? Again, he's saying, be a giver, but don't get attached. These are things to make you a little detached and a little distant. What happens is, if we are attached, now we go through tremendous cycles. When people don't act as per our expectation, we get very upset. We cry because I loved him so much, I did so much from him, he is not doing it. Detach yourself and watch. When you go at things, see, if I buy this thing, how much other people are going to suffer. The resources are limited. What do I do? Start seeing these open yourself, discriminate. Whenever you're doing anything, analyze and then do it. So slowly, the dispassion will come in. If the poisonous snake, he has given an example, if the poisonous snake or a scorpion in the hole is thrashed to death, everything becomes safe and secure, right? आपने उसको मार दिया तो खत्म. However, one may not have the daring or the skill to attack it and kill it. You don't have the courage to attack and kill it. But even so, one will not love it or one will not touch it, right? You kill the snake, over. But you do not have the courage. But you won't go near the snake again and again, right? You won't want to go and cajole it. You won't want to go and hold the scorpion. So you will distance yourself from it. Now, however, one may not have the daring or the skill to attack it and kill it. But even so, one will not love it or touch it because of the perception that it is poisonous, that it will be a source of pain and suffering. Similarly, aspirants may still have at heart a desire for sense enjoyment, being victim of ignorance, yet they may safeguard their dispassion through the perception of evil. It's a very beautiful example that you might still have the desire, but with your vivek, you have to understand and distance yourself. You cannot kill it right away, no problem, but you start distancing yourself. And then he says, Yet they may safeguard their dispassion through the perception of evil. Realization of Brahm through contemplation is possible only for those aspirants who have dispassion. The dispassion of aspirants results from the perception of evil. Without dispassion, how can an aspirant's mind engage itself in the worship of Brahman? So, it does not mean that the knower of truth alone can possess dispassion. Those who find evil in sense enjoyment will also have it. It is this dispassion that is designated by the Vedantis as sadhana chatushchaya. When we keep talking about sadhana karo, the fourfold means help to us to focus on the Lord. One is vivek, discrimination, vairagya, dispassion, and samadhi is another state. Samadhi and sakam, control of the mind, body, and mumukshatva. Samadhi and mumukshata we can leave for now. But yes, so that is vivek, vairagya, and satkam, control. It is not possible to do so. I may repeat. Now he's repeating. He's saying, I may repeat here that more one practice renunciation of sense objects, the more laudable the effort is, and that nothing has been said in the previous life. Okay. And he says, a life of penance is good both for the householder and the sannyasis. We feel that penance is only for the sannyasis and not for us. He's saying very clearly there are no difference between how a sannyasi has to operate and how a grihast has to operate on this path. The path is the same, the rules are the same, there is no difference. A life of penance, that is tapas, where we are not indulging unnecessarily, where we are controlling ourselves. When we use our discrimination to see whose company we should keep and whose company we should not keep, who brings us closer to God, who takes us away from the God. All these things are penance only, right? Whether we are indulging in situations which are prayas or shreyas. Prayas is, I love it, I like doing it. Shreyas might be something you do not like, but it is good for your spiritual development. So he's saying a life of penance is good both for the householder and sannyasi. Keep away from the, again, he is a sannyasi, so again he's saying keep away from the hurly-burly of the worldly life. Exert yourself to utmost in practicing penance and in the worship of God. These are good for anyone in any ashram. These are good for anyone in any ashram. So what Balramji, what Pralambasur is trying to take away is exactly this. All this that has been mentioned over here needs what? Atmabal. Knowing is one thing and putting it in our daily life is another thing. Knowing is good. Now how do we implement it? For that, a lot of strength is needed. It is not easy. Vivek, Vairagya, and what is it? Satkam. 3 things. Constantly. So over here, he says, koi baat nahi. Agar if I take away Balramji, Atmabal, if I take away all this effort that we just talked about, God is history. वो तो कभी पहुंच ही नहीं सकता उनके पास में. So, why so intense right now? Because after this, the beautiful weather will come, right? The Ras Leela will start. Now, how do you dance with Ras Leela? कब होगी? When you reach him, right? अब आप पहुंचोगे ही नहीं तो Ras Leela तक तो पहुंच ही नहीं सकते. What is Ras Leela? Ras Leela is when you are one with the divine. And that there is this song, song of beauty and you're dancing in that bliss. Yesterday I was going through one quote and it just so fits over here. And probably that is the irony because we can't hear the music. It says, and those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. Those who were seen dancing were thought to be insane by those who could not hear the music. Those who have been able to listen to the music of his flute will dance in joy. But they will be considered insane because for the others there is no music. What is he dancing on? And to reach to that state where you can listen to the music, a lot of effort is needed. It does not happen just like that. And over here, Why the stage? These stories are very much beautifully put in a very strong sequence. Why the fire? Why the demon? That final effort to destroy any connection with the Lord. Because इसके बाद में भी रासलीला आने वाली है, where you listen to the music and you dance. So till we can listen to the music, I think maybe we all should dig deep inside us. Kabhi na kabhi, kahin na kahin, we must have experienced that small bliss. It is not possible that, almost 44 years or whatever is everybody's age, we have not experienced one moment of true bliss. How was that moment of true bliss? How did you feel in that moment? Multiply it by thousands and thousands of times. That is when you realize what you are and what the divine is. Isn't it absolutely worth it? All the efforts that have to be put in. So our scriptures are just not for listening and saying, okay. Our scriptures are for implementing. Our scriptures are not moral lessons for how we should live in this world. Our scriptures are definitely moral lessons of how we can reach beyond this world to that divine. In the process, of course, we become better human beings. That is for true. The minute we become givers and not takers, everything changes, right? Haven't you realized there is a lot of joy in giving? There is not even 1% joy in taking. देखे कितनी खुशी होती है. Experience it. We have experienced it. We know it. When we are able to control ourselves and say, no, this is not good for me, I'm not going to do it. How powerful do you feel? Don't you? We have experienced it. Some point or the other, we have done it. But we let it go. Why? Because Pralambasur is so strong. He takes away our Atmabal. And over here, in the previous letter and this letter, the Tapovan Maharaj is not talking to a Jnani. He is talking to a Grihast. And for a Grihast, he is clearly saying, you cannot run away saying he is a sannyasi, so he can do this. I am not a sannyasi. But not being a sannyasi does not give you a right to indulge your senses the way you want it. By our scriptures, we are not allowed to indulge our senses beyond a point. Whether we like it or not, we can justify it in 1,000 different ways. But it is not right. Just because everybody is doing it does not make it right. We have to remember that. सब कर रहे हैं, तो क्या सब कुएं में कूदेंगे तो तुम भी जाके कूद जाओगे? The other day, same discussion, because we have the same stories for the senior children also. So now this child is asking me, so what do you say? That having wealth is not right. I said, I never said that. You can have wealth, but how you have earned the wealth and what do you do with your wealth is very important. Then an example, that person donates so and so much percentage, so and so much amount of his income. Now I said, wait, a poor person who has 10 gives away 7, and a rich person, okay, that's 70% of his income. A rich person gives away 1% of his income. Who is greater? There is nothing absolute here. 70% is greater, even though it is only 7 rupees, it could be $7 billion. Don't try to fool yourself. We fool ourselves a lot, We do a little good and we say brownie point. No, it does not work like that. At this point, in Bhagwat, and Bhagwat has been written without any cajoling. There are a lot of scriptures who will say, nahi, theek hai, koi baat nahi, apna swabhav theek karo, ye karo, koi baat nahi. No, it is like because after Ved Vyas ji wrote the Mahabharat, he got a jolt. He said, इन लोगों ने तो अर्थ का अनर्थ कर दिया. लोग तो बोलते हैं कृष्ण ने भी तो झूठ बोला था, हम बोलते हैं तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है? They are quoting, oh, this lady did this, so what? These people did not understand what I was trying to say. He literally, I can tell you, I feel he went into solid depression. And that is when he picked up Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran, the last scripture. He wrote and he said everything as it is, as blunt as possible, to the point. You can take it well and good, you cannot take it. This is the truth. No sugar coating whatsoever. And he gave us Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran. Everything written. And how does Srimad Bhagavad Mahapuran start? This is a scripture which is not trying to teach you how to live. Srimad Bhagwat Puran, Mahapuran is teaching you how you should die. The only truth in our existence is death, right? And it starts with 3 tap. We have 3 tap. The first verse talks about 3 taps. Adi Devik, Adi Bhautik and Adhyatmik. What are the 3 sufferings that a human being goes through? 3, right? Adi Devik, Adhyatmik, Adi Bhautik. In the first session, it is explained in great depth. Very simply put, suffering due to natural calamities, suffering due to others, and suffering caused by myself. Right? What if somebody will say the suffering caused by others is the maximum for me. Second, suffering caused by the natural calamities. And why would I cause suffering to myself? But that is not the sequence. We cause the maximum suffering to ourselves, not the natural calamities, not anybody else. So these 3 taps have to be finished. So along with these 2, the major suffering that we are causing to ourselves is through ourselves. अब सोचिए, हम अपने आप को ही दुख देते हैं. Why? Because we do not have any control on our emotions and thoughts. So they want to eliminate these 3. And who is dying? The scripture is being told to a dying man. Raja Parikshit मर रहे हैं. 7 दिन में उनको मरना है. और in these 7 days he wants to realize the Lord. We are in no different situation. He is in a better situation because he knows when he'll die. We don't even know when we'll die. 1 minute, 1 second, 2 seconds, 10 years, we do not know. So over here they're saying, how do you reach that goal? So how are you supposed to live if you want to die like that? How do you die? When you break the shackles and be free. Khatam. So the objective of Bhagavad is very clear. Okay, this is my objective. So hence it is at times very hard hitting. It was not meant to soften any blow. So he is saying Pralambasur, there will be so many tries, but if you are a sadhak, whether you are a grihast or a sannyasi, the rules are the same. Whether you like it or not. See, in our scriptures, there are no grey areas. A lie is a lie, a truth is a truth. For our convenience, we say कि हाँ उसको बुरा लगता है इसके लिए मैंने. No. What it is, it is. No grey areas whatsoever. थोड़ा सा कर लिया तो क्या हुआ? थोड़ा सा कर लिया तो Pralambasur has been victorious. 100% vigilance at all times. Because after this, we'll see when you have been able to overcome that last blow and then you stand up, there won't be any summer heat. It is always so glorious and beautiful. It is autumn and spring throughout. And after these, when we look at this chapter, book 20 chapter, it is about a description of rain and autumn. कहते हैं ना, जब भगवान मन छू लेता है, उसके बाद में there is no grief, there is no agony, there is only bliss and bliss and bliss. But to reach that stage, Pralambasur has to be destroyed. And our Atmabal has to be very strong. Yes, Shri Krishna's grace is there, but it is our effort that is needed. Jai Shri Krishna. Anything else? Any doubts? Any questions? So in the last, before reaching these 2 things, we have talked about surrender, full surrender, and telling us that full surrender does not mean inactivity from our path, our side. Action has to be full, even when full surrender is there. Any doubt, any questions, anything that anybody wants to ask? Nothing? Shall we close the class then? Yeah? There were 2 bhajans which are relevant. I had shared one, right? This is very beautiful. If we can include it in our daily prayers before we end the class, we have 5 minutes. Hey Prabhu Anand Data. The wordings are very strong, relevant to today's session, because along with our actions we need, it's a beautiful prayer. I think आप लोगों को मैंने भेजा भी है हे प्रभु आनंद दाता ज्ञान हमको दीजिए. It's on your phones. हे प्रभु आनंद दाता ज्ञान हमको दीजिए. शीघ्र सारे अवगुणों को दूर हमसे कीजिए. लीजिए हमको शरण में हम सदाचारी बने. लीजिए हमको शरण में हम सदाचारी बने. ब्रह्मचारी धर्म रक्षक वीर व्रतधारी बने. प्रेम से हम गुरुजनों की नित्य ही सेवा करें. सत्य बोले झूठ त्यागे प्रेम आपस में करें. निंदा किसी की हम किसी से भूल कर भी ना करें. धैर्य बुद्धि मन लगाकर ईश गुण गाया करें. हे प्रभु आनंद दाता ज्ञान हमको दीजिए. शीघ्र सारे अवगुणों को दूर हमसे कीजिए. मातृभूमि मातृ सेवा हो अधिक प्यारी हमें. मातृभूमि के लिए दान ये जीवन करे. पिता और माता की आज्ञा हम सदा पालन करें. आपके चरणों में निश दिन शीश यह रखा करें. हे प्रभु आनंद दाता ज्ञान हमको दीजिए. शीघ्र सारे अवगुणों को दूर हमसे कीजिए. शीघ्र सारे अवगुणों को दूर हमसे कीजिए. श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी. हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव. श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी. हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव. श्री कृष्ण गोविंद हरे मुरारी. हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव. हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव. हे नाथ नारायण वासुदेव. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. वासुदेवाय वासुदेवाय. राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की. राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की. राम लक्ष्मण जानकी जय बोलो हनुमान की. जय बोलो हनुमान की. जय बोलो हनुमान की. बोलो बजरंग बली की जय. Hanuman means the crushing of one's ego. Hanu, man, finished. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Hanuman.